This is KUGAN CASSIUS for Eiffel TV in association with Macklin's Gym Marbella. On the phone, I have got Peter Fury. How are you, Peter?
Yeah, I'm very good, KUGAN. Very well.
Couple of days away from Christmas, but the boxing doesn't ever seem to stop. There's always something going on.
Yeah, there is. I enjoyed the interview with Eddie Hearn. I enjoyed the interview with Frank Warren just earlier on, and find it very, very interesting. Both of it really, and it's good for the fans. It's good for the fans to get the reality of exactly what's going on, rather than listening to one promoter, you know, with big egos trying to claim responsibility for everybody else's achievement. Because, to be honest, that's what I'm looking at here.
Okay, so let's obviously go back to last week. There was a series of tweets between yourself and Eddie Hearn on Twitter about the negotiations, the split regarding Klitschko-Fury. Now, I understand obviously some emails were sent to you after the tweeting stopped. I then interviewed Eddie Hearn the other day. Let's just go back from the interview with Eddie Hearn. What in that interview do you believe to be incorrect about what Eddie's saying regarding the negotiations and the split regarding Klitschko-Fury?
Right, I received 6 emails. Those 6 emails for his undercard fighters, namely Kell Brook, and I've had since his interview, I spoke to Mick Hennessy at length about it, and basically, Sky and ourselves sat down together. So basically, what happened from there, Eddie Hearn was no part of that. So as a result of that, then they've come back and asked us for certain percentages, which we wasn't happy with. Namely, a 15%, which was for Eddie's corner for the undercard, which again, we wasn't happy with. So we decided to look elsewhere. So what's happened from then, 2 weeks later, around a couple of weeks, Eddie Hearn gets in touch. Now, obviously, this was a stumbling block because Eddie's earned percentages, I think it's around 15%, we wasn't going to take. So we said, no thank you. We've had no discussions with Eddie Hearn at this time. That was it. Moving on. Good looking for other deals, and probably was going to do other deals as well. So then Eddie Hearn got back on the phone, and all of these emails are, and all of his involvement ever was to shave his own percentage down to make the fight happen, because his undercard, his feet, was stopping it. When he's shaved down his percentages, we said, okay, we will speak direct with Sky and do our deal with Sky. This is what Mick Hennessy told me. So what happened from there then? Eddie Hearn come back on the phone because what's the name? I did mention his name, the head of Sky, he's dealing with all this.
Barney Francis?
Barney Francis is away on holiday. He's asked Eddie Hearn to step in, speak about the percentages. So an agreement was reached for the 24th of October. Yeah? So that's where Eddie Hearn's involvement was. To come to an agreement on his own percentages for his own undercard. Nothing to do with Tyson Fury. Now, when this fell out of bed on the 24th of October, nothing to do with Eddie Hearn because of Klitschko pulled out with an injury, as we know. Eddie Hearn's involvement completely fell away because there was no undercard. So we went back to Sky and said, we want the percentages back because you're not putting on any of the undercards at the end. And Eddie Hearn is rightly to say the percentages stayed exactly the same because Sky said, we can't give you the percentages back because we've lost so much money already with the pullout. And I've got to then reschedule it, we've got to do this. This is from Barney Francis speaking, on Sky. And we assume by that, this 5 or 7% we're talking about, Sky was using that percentages for their costs, and maybe also for a later date to stick Kell Brook on somewhere else down the line. So that's where Eddie Hearn's involvement lies and ends. He's had no part of our fight. He's had no money from our fight. It's nothing to do with Tyson v. Klitschko. So that is the start ending of all of his involvement. Now, he was no part of any discussions between, he's not in as well, any contracts between us and Sky. None. That's period. So his involvement, let me just go over it again, the 15% they was after for the undercard, that was inflicted on our what we wanted. So we said to Sky, forget about it. There was no deal. So then we left. Eddie Hearn gets back in touch only to shave off his percentages to make this fight happen, because his undercard and what he was asking was stopping us from doing the deal with Sky. We was happy to go elsewhere. So Eddie Hearn, I assume Sky wanted this fight, and I am assuming as well, not factually, I'm assuming what would happen. Sky would have said to Eddie Hearn, look, we want this fight, but you're stopping it from happening. So I think to keep Sky happy in his relationship with Sky, he's had to come back onto us and shave his percentages down, which didn't make any difference in the end, because obviously he never had the undercard. So that solves that. You've also heard from Frank Warren and his son, George, stating the facts as well, that he's not got the exclusivity with what he thinks he has. Because that we would never come out and give a statement to say Eddie Hearn's not involved in this, not involved in that, if he genuinely wasn't. Look, he's not involved. So whether it's a misunderstanding, I am not going to call Eddie Hearn a liar. And if it's come across that way, it's because his old man put a statement out on Twitter when I was on my way back from France, and I read it, and I thought to myself, how can somebody take false credit for Mick Hennessy's hard work on putting a world title fight together? So if they've been called liars, I apologise, because it's not too tactful of me to do it. But in bottom line is, it's like this. It is very not correct, it's very untrue to claim you've been a part of Klitschko-Tyson Fury. You have not been a part of it whatsoever. And I think if this keeps up, we will have to get a full statement from K2. We'll have to get a full statement from Sky Barney Francis, a full statement off Mick Hennessy, cast iron in these facts. Because he's no involvement at all. Period. He hasn't got a 1% involvement in this fight, even if there's a rematch, whoever. And I can say this because I don't give a shit about a promotional deal. I don't give a shit about any TV channel. I don't care. I care about being the best fighter in the world. And my fighters being the best fighters in the world. So I've got no obligatory to anyone. We've got money outside of boxing. I'm 50 years of age, and I don't give a shit about anything. I give a shit, though, about truth being told. I am not. Are we to say now we've got a deal with Sky because we fought on Sky, we're part of Matchroom? Am I claiming we're part of Matchroom? Am I claiming because I'm with NSC Sports we're part of Nick Blackwell and Mixed Fighters? No. Totally incorrect. We're not. Team Fury is a part of NSC Sports. No. NSC Sports is a part of Team Fury. We're a part of Mick Hennessy. Mick Hennessy's other business dealings have nothing to do with Team Fury, has it? So let's get it right. Nobody should take a false credit. So that's the end of it. That's where I'm concerned. I'm not bothered if the public believe it or not. That's entirely up to them. But that is the facts. Frank Warren and George Warren, they've just stated exactly where it's at again. They're doing business with Sky, nothing to do with Matchroom. So we're not all telling stupid lies because all of a sudden we've got some vendetta towards Eddie. Eddie Hearn, I've got no problem with Eddie. I think Eddie's quite a cool fella. Every time I speak to him, comes over well. Wish him all the very best. For a son to take over his father's business and do well with it, it's the same as what all the fathers want our kids to do. They're doing exactly the right thing. The best of luck to them. I hope they earn millions and carry on. You know, and I'll tell you what else I'm going to take my hat off to them for. Making Joshua and Dillian White a pay-per-view fight for a daft British title. And I agree with Frank Warren again. Put on world title fights and give the people value for money. That's not pay for that lot of bullshit. Because a British title fight, but listen, full credit to Eddie Hearn. Because he's made that fight into a massive pay-per-view fight, and I'll give him maximum credit because I don't think anybody in the world could have done that. Because who wants a pay-per-view for that? So, what I'm saying to you, I'll give credit where it is due. But on a fighting front, taking credit for something you've had nothing to do with is another matter entirely. And I'm telling you again, I'm telling the world, Eddie Hearn has got zilch, zero to do with making any involvement with Tyson v. Klitschko. Now, past, or in the future. Zero.
Okay, Peter, let me just clarify a couple of things, right? So, in the interview the other day, Eddie Hearn stated that he negotiated the split for the original fight, which was due to take place on the 24th of October in Sheffield. Are you disputing that he negotiated that split or not?
No, we're not disputing he's negotiated the split because it was only the split of his own fighters. He got on the phone negotiating the split because Sky said we need X amount for Eddie Hearn's undercard. It had to be Eddie Hearn's undercard because we said no. So we turned down them percentages. So then Eddie Hearn's come on the phone to only shave down his percentages to get the deal done. Now that deal, when his percentages did get shaved down, and he went back to wherever he went back, Barney Francis, because he said he was standing in, because Barney Francis was on holiday. So then, that deal was made. So in that regard, he was doing percentages, shaving his own percentages down. But as far as Klitschko-Tyson's concerned, he's got no involvement with.
Okay, so Peter, he said in that same interview we're talking about, he said that the split for the second fight remained the same. Is that correct?
It did. He's exactly right. The percentages remained the same because, like I've just told you, we went back to Sky and said, right, Eddie is no longer involved with this pay-per-view event because he's not got the undercard. Because let's not forget, Eddie's involvement was only the undercard. He was only talking about Klitschko-Fury and the percentages because it was his percentages stopping it. Because we're not going to overpay for an undercard when we'll go and put our own undercard on for a lot less money. So that's why Eddie Hearn got put out the window. That's why we said to Sky, forget about it. Then Eddie Hearn's come back on the phone simply to shave his percentages down so we are comfortable with the fight and the percentages. When that's agreed, we have then done a deal direct with Sky on the agreement that Eddie's percentages are now acceptable for the undercard. That's where it ends and starts. So, to your understanding, do you believe that Eddie Hearn on Matchroom benefited financially from Klitschko-Fury in Dusseldorf? Well, what I do believe is this. The percentages remain the same, let's not forget that. And these percentages, when we asked them to put it back because Eddie is no longer involved, this around 5 or 7% we're talking about was because they've incurred admin costs, Sky, because of the letdown, and they've incurred all these extra costs. Now, if Eddie has received a part of the 7% from Sky, who knows, that's between him and Sky. But what happens, maybe Sky will put something towards Kelbrook when they fight again. I don't know, that's between Eddie Hearn and Sky. What we can tell you is, Eddie Hearn has had no involvement. Our splits are direct with Sky box office. them splits don't involve Eddie Hearn whatsoever.
Peter, has the last week or two affected what could possibly happen with the rematch and the platform it's on next year?
I don't think so. It's got nothing really to do with Eddie Hearn, because look, Eddie Hearn didn't want Klitschko-Fury for the 28th of November, because he said it's going to collide with Joshua and Dillian Whyte, and he wanted the 28th of February. But guess what? Sky overruled Eddie Hearn, because we said if we don't get the 28th of November, we're off. See you later, Sky. So Sky said, we want this fight, that's it. So they put it on. So Eddie wanted, let's not forget, we wouldn't have had this fight this year if it would have been down to Hearn and Co. Matchroom. They wanted 28th of February. We said, absolutely no way. We're going elsewhere. So then Sky said, we're doing it. So that gives you an idea of what's happening. So there isn't the shout they think they got. His exclusivity with Sky, what he said would be correct. And you know, he's got Sky, they're contracted 5 or 6 years. All that will be correct. We're not disputing any of it. But what I can tell you is, he doesn't get his way as much as he's portraying he gets it. He's no part of Fury Klitschko. If he said he is, he isn't. I've explained why he isn't. The 28th of February didn't go ahead as they wanted. We got the 28th of November. And that's exactly where we are.
Peter, how far are the negotiations into the rematch as we currently stand?
As I understand, I have to be very respectful to Sky here. They are in touch, and we're open to negotiations as well. But let me tell you, Sky, BoxNation, whoever wants to put this fight on and give the most money, Tyson Fury will be fighting on it. It's as simple as that. And it's not just Sky, it ain't just BoxNation. You know, I was talking to Bill Ives the other day. We had a meeting because Bill Ives is a friend of a very, very good friend of mine, who's very, very close partnerships with the BoxNation and Frank Warren. And we sat down and we had a discussion. And listen, I said to I'm being open about it. You know, I would like to see. I'm not really bothered, I should say, where this fight goes. If Sky put it on, great. If they don't, if BoxNation put it on, great. There is some other channels interested, which are not prepared to discuss it. But there you are. That's where we are. So, look, Tyson's the heavyweight champion of the world. He will be fighting again in the rematch. And whoever stages it is up to Mick to come back to us as a group and decide what better deals on the table we will be taking it. We're not tied. We're not tied to anybody.
IFL TV might even put in a bid. You never know, Peter.
Yeah, I think so. But you know what I did like? I've got to say, I did like where, he took his dad's business, Eddie Hearn, and this and that. I thought that was very good. You know, I enjoyed it. Like I said, I give him maximum credit for the Joshua Dillian Whyte, because what he's done there to get figures on it is unbelievable. So, but you know another thing I'm going to say? It's like where he's at Eubank and they've gone and this and that. You know what? If somebody done that to me, I would tell them, go and don't ever come back. F off. So, but this is what I'm saying. Because they're clinging, the money mad, they're happy to swallow things, almost bend over just to get the money train on the road. Listen, forget the money. If the principles ain't right, the morals ain't right, the fighter ain't respecting what you're doing, and you feel like you've been not fairly treated, as Eddie rightly said, what's he doing leaving the door open? Because I'm telling you now, if that happened to me, my door would be welded, stone shut. Wouldn't matter if you offered me 20 million. Couldn't happen. But that's the difference with the way we stand and the way others stand.
Okay, Peter, I just want to finish off by talking just a little bit about Sports Personality of the Year that you were in Belfast for on Sunday. Tyson coming fourth. How did you assess, or what can you say about the night?
Well, the night was perfect. It went off very well. The singers was very beautiful. The singing lady at the start, very impressed. lady at the end losing her husband and singing that song, was a very, very nice thing to do. And I really enjoyed the show. I thought it went brilliant. And full congratulations to the winner, the team, and everything to do with it. I've heard a few comments. A lot of people said they couldn't get through this and that. Tyson's got 360,000 followers, yet only 72 voted. I don't really care about it because Tyson isn't bothered about it. But what we was happy with is that Tyson, we went there in the face of adversity with all this crap going on, and Tyson was able to get up on stage on national television and put the record straight to exactly how he did mean it and how he felt. So for that alone, we was very happy with it. So that's where it's at. So happy. It was a good evening. Everybody enjoyed it, and congratulations to the winner.
Okay. All right, Peter. Unless you have anything else you'd like to say.
I think we need to get back to the real boxing of it. It's enjoyable for the fans, but look, I think people need to get off the ego train, appreciate what they're doing themselves, don't try and be the head honcho in the sport, don't try and, all this about being envious and this and that. You don't have to portray yourself as being anything. Let reality be what it is. Tell the truth, do your own business, don't start tying yourself in with other people's success, jumping on the back of gravy trains, because you will come unstuck, because people, sooner or later, like me, will get up and say, don't do that, that is wrong. So that's where it's at. Don't wish nobody any harm. Wish Eddie and his dad all the very best for Christmas. They're doing great in sport. May long their career with Sky continue and get another 10-year contract. We don't give a shit about it. So basically, don't get on our back claiming you put deals together for our fighters when you haven't. Nick Hennessy with K2 made the fight with Barney Francis at Sky. There is nobody else, no other involvement. And if Sky has given this 5, 4, 7%, whatever it is, over to Eddie, because they've got some prior agreement or whatever, because the undercard never went on, that's up to them. He has got nothing to do with our deals. Zero.
Okay, Peter, on that note, listen, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV, and it's good to get your view. So, have a very Merry Christmas to you and your whole family.
Yeah, listen, the same to you, the same to everybody, the same to promoters, all the fighters that lace a pair of gloves on. Got respect for everybody. But this issue is not going to be mentioned again by me. Like I said, if it comes up again, everybody best put pen to paper and make official statements for the public to see it, and then it'll just go to another level. But as far as I'm concerned, let's get on with next year and enjoy the boxing, and it's going to be an eventful year for all the boxing public around the world.
Absolutely, can't wait. Alright, Peter, thanks for talking to us, and we'll catch up with you soon, alright?
You're welcome, KUGAN, all the best.
That's Peter Fury for IFL TV, thank you very much.